Okay, let's talk about those Maple Leafs and the panic amongst Leafs Nation right now. I'm so panicky, I can't even talk right now. No, we're okay. TSN Radio's Matt Cauz, though, is standing by to give us his take. All right, Matt, I was actually really interested to hear a few things that came out of the mouth of Brad Treliving in the last in the update a couple of minutes ago. Two things standing out. One, not trying to blame the defense, but also in some cases blaming the defense. And you could see in some of the replays, you have Morgan Rielly, who's not in position. There's a lot of questions about how this team is going to be stopping goals. And then also trying to make sure that Anthony Stolarz isn't being blamed for letting in too many goals. But he also isn't performing like he did last year when he almost was the best goalie in the league.
Yeah, we'll start with Stolarz. I think I was on an island earlier in the year where I was putting almost none of the blame on Stolarz. You go back and look at the first 10 games, almost all the goals he gave up was usually the result of the opponent within great position, great time, and absolutely no resistance from any Leafs defenseman. After that, he had a couple bad games. But Brad Treliving came out and said, basically, no one on the team is playing up to expectations. Beyond maybe Nick Robertson or John Tavares, that's true. That's been the main problem with the Maple Leafs is all of the defense have regressed, and now they're injured. And then the bigger picture, and I talked about this at the beginning of the year, they were relying a ton on Chris Tanev to stay healthy, their best defenseman. That's a big ask for a 35-year-old who plays as physical as he does, a guy who seems to block 10 shots every night, 3 with his retina and 4 with his neck, for him to be able to play 75 to 82 games.
Well, unfortunately, retinas aren't made of stone, Matt. And the problem is sooner or later, something has to give. And I think the other thing on the flip side, and something that was sort of avoided by Treliving today, is when we lost Mitch Marner, as much as he didn't play in the tough areas behind the net or whatever, he also was the driver of the offense. Morgan Rielly is not being a quarterback for the power play we need right now. So what do you think right now about how the Leafs are talking about keeping things small, but at the same time, this circle, and if you're focusing only here, and you don't have you're not looking over here for the player that'll fix this, what's going to happen?
Oh, that's the thing. First with Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner was also very good defensively. He would get votes for the Selke. We all expected the Maple Leafs to take a step back when Mitch Marner fled Toronto for Vegas. No one expected the Toronto Maple Leafs to have the same amount of points as the Buffalo Sabres when we're this close to American Thanksgiving. The big problem with this team is there is no magic cure. They're not going to be able to trade assets. They don't have many assets. They don't have first-round draft picks. The young player pool isn't there right now. So that is the main problem. You know, bringing up Easton Cowan, maybe he provides a bit of a spark offensively, but defensively, it's these guys. And I don't know what the solution is beyond everyone's got to work a little bit harder. That's easier said than done because every other team in the NHL is also trying to work harder. It is a baffling one when Brendan Carlo and Jake McCabe aren't nearly as good as they were last year. Morgan Rielly promised to have his best season in ages, and after the first 2 or 3 games, it hasn't happened. I mean, honestly, right now, when I view the Maple Leafs, I don't see a playoff team.
That is not a good prediction at best, as best I can describe it, Matt. But we're going to have to see how things go. But right now, that's pretty ominous. We'll have to leave it there. All right, Matt Cauz from TSN Radio. We appreciate you. We'll talk, as always, with Matt whenever we need to talk Leafs.